Have you ever felt like you're running on a treadmill, working harder and harder, but never really getting ahead? You're not alone. What if I told you that the system is designed that way? Not by some shadowy cabal, but by the very mechanics of our global economy. Picture this, a giant chain, forged from money, wrapping itself around the entire planet. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. It's a metaphor for the reality we live in, a reality built on debt. From the moment we're born, we're entered into a ledger. Our governments take on debt in our name, borrowing against our future productivity. We go to school, often taking on student loans before we've even earned our first real paycheck. We get jobs, and we're encouraged to buy a home with a mortgage, a car with a loan, and everyday items with credit cards. Every major life step seems to come with a new form of debt. We become cogs in a machine, working to pay off the interest on money that was created out of thin air. But who holds the other end of this chain? In the background, you'll find the silhouettes of massive institutions, central banks, multinational corporations, and governments. They are the architects and beneficiaries of this system. Central banks, like the Federal Reserve in the US, have the power to create money. They don't print it in a basement, they simply type numbers into a computer. This new money is then lent to commercial banks, who then lend it to us, the public, and to our governments, at interest. Here's the catch: when a bank creates a loan, it creates the principal amount, but it doesn't create the money needed to pay the interest. So, where does that money come from? It has to be borrowed from somewhere else. This creates a perpetual shortfall. The total amount of debt in the system will always be greater than the total amount of money in existence. It's like a game of musical chairs where there's always one chair missing. Someone, somewhere, has to default. This constant pressure to find more money just to service existing debts is what drives the relentless need for economic growth, often at the expense of our environment and our well-being. Think about the national debt. You hear staggering numbers on the news: trillions of dollars. It's a number so large, it's almost meaningless. But that debt has real-world consequences. To pay the interest, governments must collect taxes. So, a portion of every dollar you earn goes not to building roads or funding schools, but directly to the holders of that debt, which are often large financial institutions and other countries. We are, in essence, paying rent for the use of our own currency. This system creates a massive transfer of wealth from the working population to the financial elite. Those who have capital can lend it out and earn interest, their wealth growing automatically. Those without capital must borrow it and pay interest, constantly playing catch-up. It's a cycle that concentrates wealth and power at the very top, widening the gap between the rich and the poor. The corporations, too, play a huge role. They leverage cheap debt to buy back their own stock, artificially inflating its value and enriching executives and shareholders, rather than investing in innovation or raising wages for their employees. The illusion is that this is all normal, that this is the only way things can be. We're told that a little bit of inflation is good for the economy, that debt is a tool for progress. But when does it become a shackle? When does the tool start to use us? We're so busy trying to keep our heads above water, paying our mortgages, our car loans, our credit card bills, that we rarely have time to stop and question the water itself. But people are starting to wake up. We're seeing the cracks in the foundation. The financial crisis of 2008 was a major wake-up call. We saw how fragile this debt-based system really is, and how the risks are socialized while the profits are privatized. The banks that were too big to fail were bailed out with taxpayer money, the very same money that we worked so hard to earn. The chain was reinforced, and the cycle continued, but the questions began to multiply. What is the alternative? This is the crucial question. It's not about overthrowing the system overnight. It's about understanding it, so we can begin to build something better. It starts with financial education. Understanding how money is created, what debt really is, and how interest works is the first step toward taking back control. It's about exploring new ideas, like decentralized currencies that aren't controlled by any single entity, or local banking systems that invest directly in their communities instead of speculating on Wall Street. It's also about a shift in mindset. We need to question the relentless pursuit of material wealth and endless growth. What if we valued community, sustainability, and personal well-being as much as we value GDP? What if we designed an economy that serves humanity, instead of a system where humanity serves the economy? The money chain that encircles our world is strong, but it's not unbreakable. It was created by people, and it can be changed by people. The floating numbers of debt that seem so imposing are just that, numbers. They only have power because we collectively agree that they do. The change begins with conversations like this one. By sharing this knowledge and questioning the narrative, we start to loosen the links of that chain. It's a long road, and there are no easy answers. But the first step is always the most important: to see the chain for what it is. To recognize that we have the power to imagine and to build a different future. A future where our work and our lives aren't just about paying off debt, but about creating genuine value and freedom for ourselves and for generations to come. Thank you for watching. If this video made you think, please share it with someone who needs to see it. Subscribe for more content that challenges the way we see the world. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments below.